the UK has described as perverse a Russian proposal for a joint inquiry into the poisoning of a Russian ex-spy and his daughter in England last month. The comment came from the UK team as it attended an emergency meeting of the International Chemical Weapons Watchdog, the OPCW, on the issue. Russia, which called the meeting, wants the UK to share evidence. The UK says Russia was almost certainly to blame for the attack, but Moscow denies any involvement. The British government says a military-grade Novichok nerve agent of a type developed by Russia was used in the attack on Sergei Skripal and his daughter Yulia in Salisbury, southern England, on March 4. The incident has caused a major diplomatic fallout, with the expulsion of about 130 Russian diplomats by the UK and its allies being met by counter-expulsions by Moscow. As a member of the Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons, OPCW, Russia has the right to request an emergency meeting of the body, and it is taking place at The Hague. Among other things, it wants to know what kind of evidence the UK has provided to the OPCW, which inspectors visited the site of the attack in Salisbury, who they met, and where the samples are being analyzed. But its offer of a joint investigation was dismissed by the UK. In a tweet, the UK team at The Hague said, Russia's proposal for a joint UK/Russian investigation into the Salisbury incident is perverse. It is a diversionary tactic, and yet more disinformation designed to evade the questions the Russian authorities must answer. The OPCW expects to receive the results of its own independent laboratory tests within a week. It does not have the power to attribute blame, but it could ask the Kremlin to grant its inspectors access to former Soviet Union production facilities to check all of their chemical weapons stockpiles have been destroyed. Earlier, Russian Foreign Intelligence Chief Sergei Naryshkin said in Moscow that the poisoning was a grotesque provocation that was crudely concocted by the British and American security services to implicate Russia. It is appropriate to say that the dark times of the Cold War are back, he said. The UK's Porton Down laboratory says it cannot verify the precise source of the nerve agent used. The laboratory, which had previously identified the Novichok nerve agent, said it was likely to have been deployed by a state actor, but said it was not its job to say where it was manufactured. Porton Down's chief executive Gary Aitkenhead dismissed Russian claims it might have come from the UK military laboratory. The UK says further intelligence led to its belief that Russia was responsible. Foreign Office Minister Alistair Burt on Wednesday again blamed Russia for what he called the brazen use of a chemical weapon on UK soil 1 month ago. The German government on Wednesday said it still shared the UK's view that there was a high likelihood of Russian responsibility. The Newsbay understands Mississippi Skripal, 33, is now conscious and talking. Salisbury District Hospital has said her father, 66, remains critically ill but stable. Mr. Aitkenhead said he had been advising those treating the Skripals. Unfortunately, this is an extremely toxic substance. There is not, as far as we know, any antidote that you can use to negate the effects of it, he added.